To get started for our pork, we're going to get our pork shoulder or Boston butt out of its package, taking care not to drip a lot if we can avoid it. This is a bone in. You can see the bone here on the side, it provides extra moisture, so I prefer bone in. I think it smokes the best. And now we're going to start to do our rub. So this is our pre-made pork rub. We're going to make sure that we're evenly distributing that all across the top and the bottom and the sides. We're going to transfer this onto our preheated smoker. We're going to do it fat side down, as this is the heat source is coming from directly below. We want to keep the smoker around 180 to 225. We're going to come back and check. This is after about 2 hours. We're starting to see some redness developing, some smoke developing. Now we're looking at 6 to 7 hours, and we're seeing great color here. We know it's time to go ahead and wrap this pork. So we've got beautiful deep red color, and then we can wrap it so that it can finish cooking. So for the wrap, we take an extra long piece of 18-inch wide foil, and then you're going to fold the bottom third back up. So basically the bottom 2/3 is double-sided. This is going to be the bottom, and this is going to help protect the pork as it's cooking, so you don't get any holes in it. You want to maintain all the juice that comes out as it's cooking. You're going to want that for later. And then also we're going to do just a little piece of foil that we're going to use to protect where the bone is. Again, so just to prevent punctures in the foil. Now we're going to add whatever barbecue sauce you like to the bottom. This is just going to add a little bit of flavor to the pork as it's cooking. And then we will go ahead and add our pork, and we want to find where the bone is and make sure we put this extra foil right where that bone is. So you can see that bone sticking out right there. So we are going to add the foil right there on the side when we wrap it to kind of act as just an extra protector we don't want to poke any holes in the foil. So we're going to pinch in from the sides, pinch in from the top, and then basically fold the top over. Make like an envelope basically that the pork's going in, and then kind of wrapping it with a foil lid nice and tight. Now this can go back into the smoker at 250, and we're going to keep cooking it until we start to hit 200, anywhere between 203 to 205 is the sweet spot that I like to look for. That's when the magic happens in terms of the pork muscles releasing. So now we're going to go ahead and unwrap. You can let it sit for a little while to rest before we do this part, even up to an hour or longer if it's in someplace warm, you can put it in a cooler that will keep the heat warm. You'll see here we're taking the bone, it slides right out, no problem. So that's a great sign that we've smoked it beautifully. I'm just going to move that whole pork shoulder into the bowl. I'm pouring all that liquid, juice, fat that's rendered out right back into there. You want all that flavor. And then we're just going to start to break it up. You can use tongs, your hands. I try to not break it up too fine because I want to leave some bigger chunks. But you do want to break it up, mix it up. You're going to have lots of that crust is going to be on the top. I find that it always needs just a little bit more salt. That's a big piece of meat, and there's no amount of rub you can add that's going to season it all the way through. So I like to add a little bit more salt, make sure that it tastes just right. And then it's pretty much ready to go. So if you're eating now, you can serve it just like that. I like to oftentimes make this ahead of time and package it up for freezing. So I'll package it in like freezer safe quart-sized bags and then flatten them out, and they freeze beautifully. So just get all your bags ready. I'll turn them inside out, the top third, all fold it over so that it stays nice and clean as I'm packaging the meat. And then basically we're just going to get our meat, packed into those bags. Try to pack it down a little bit. You want to avoid having air in there as much as you can. So we got our meat packed into 3 bags. We'll just pull those tops up. We're going to get them folded up, and then we'll seal it part way, and then we're going to squeeze that air out basically. And that will help us so that we can get all the air out, get them nice and flat. And as you can see, we got nice, perfectly packaged pork ready to go in the freezer for another meal.